this movie obviously has a good deal of political themes, immigration and the class divide and everything. Was there a specific message that you took away from the movie when you were reading it or working on it?
No, I mean, what Neil Blomkamp said to me the first time I met him was he talked about coming from South Africa, and he emigrated to Vancouver, to Canada, when he was 18. And he just said that the experience of going from a third world environment to a first world environment just completely blew his mind, and he's been kind of exercising those issues in his work kind of since then. And so I don't think he definitely doesn't want anyone to think this is a message movie, you know, like that's not. But like District 9, his other movie, which had all these really interesting themes kind of underpinning this really exciting story, you know, he wants to use kind of science fiction to explore, like, you know, those issues like the economic divide and stuff like that, but without trying to hit anybody over the head with it. He's just kind of calling attention to them, but not saying, here's what we should do about it, you know, because that's obviously can't do that in a 2-hour movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mentioned District 9. Obviously, this movie is a lot more fun to it. That one was pretty severe, I think, and this one has a little bit more, you know, like a summer fun kind of feel to it.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about balancing those two things to make what you guys ultimately wanted?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first kind of goal was to make a big summer movie that people would want to go see. And so, you know, I just felt that looking at, like, from the first time that I sat down with him, he gave me this book that he'd made. It was like a graphic novel with all this imagery that's in the movie, and it was like in this graphic novel that he gave me that he'd kind of done on his own kind of home computer, and it was just so cool and so unique. I was like, I have to do this movie, you know, because also for years I've been wanting to do a science fiction movie, and because the movies I loved growing up, like Blade Runner and Alien, like, you know, they just don't make them very often. And, you know, there was The Matrix in '99, but that didn't come my way, you know. You know, there was Avatar, and I couldn't do that one because of my schedule. And it seems like every 5 or 10 years, one of these really cool ones is made. And, you know, there was D9, obviously, but. Mm-hmm. But so when I, you know, had a chance to do one with Neil, I was like, I'm not letting that one go.
Speaking of Avatar, these two movies actually both take place in 2154. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Or?
Well, I don't. You'd have to ask Neil that. I know Neil is he's a huge James Cameron fan, mm-hmm. and so it wouldn't surprise me if he did that on purpose.
Do you think the two movies could exist in the same universe at all, or?
Yeah, sure. I think, you know, different planets.
He sustained so many injuries in this movie, like from being radiated to being, you know, just grappled with and everything.
Right.
And, you know, while you're, you know, hunting for the cure of your disease and everything, you know, you take on, you know, a lot of physical suffering. I just wanted to ask you a little bit about your regimen for, you know, preparing for this physically demanding role.
Well, Neil had pictures in that graphic novel of what Max looked like without his shirt on, and so it was, you know, I basically got a trainer months and months before and took the picture to him and said, I have to do this. and it basically was just constantly in the gym just to get the look that Neil wanted, and in so doing, I got in kind of a good place to do the physical stuff. And they always make it manageable for us actors. The stunt people are always just top flight, and they're very careful, and they keep things very safe. And you know, when the stunts are extremely difficult, you know, they'll step in and do them, unless you're Tom Cruise, who actually runs out the side of a building by himself.